Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti 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 Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. This is where we stopped at. I mean, in short, because all the other, various relationships and various things that are important to one have been discussed one by one, starting with spouse, children, everything. And so the conclusion is, whatever there is in the world, in the manifest world, in the Jagat, whatever there is, any object that there might be in the manifest Jagat that is pleasing to you is not because of the object itself. This is something which is very difficult to understand, not because one is incapable of seeing the truth of it. It is difficult to understand because we have our pet notions on what kinds of things give us joy, and we are not ready to let go of that. And that's why Sureshwaracharya, in some of the verses we shall see, is very, very strict about this. And so, because we are not ready to give up the notion that the world is capable of giving me ananda, happiness. We're not ready to give that up because, it runs contrary to our experiences, naturally. Because in the experiences we see that we derive lots of various kinds of ananda from the world. Starting with ice cream ananda, chocolate cake ananda, exotic dinner, ananda, baby ananda. If provided one likes babies, or baby ananda in the absence of babies, there is also an ananda. Get that thing away from me, far away, then I'll be happy, Get this crying, leaking thing away from me. So, like this, so many anandas are there. And as a human race, we have become extremely adept in milking the Jagat for happiness. Poor Jagat, Yeah. So we have become experts in manipulating the Jagat, in milking the Jagat for various things that I want. And we saw yesterday that the things are not agreeable or disagreeable by themselves. It is raktadvishta manaha. It is the mind, the ahankara, that is filled with raga and dvesha, strong preferences, strong prejudices, because of which certain things appear to be in objects of want, appear to be agreeable, and certain things I want to keep at bay, they are disagreeable. Like wrinkles. Who wants wrinkles? Raise their hands. Nobody wants. Grey hairs. Nobody wants. Old age. Who wants? Nobody wants. Sickness. Who wants? No one wants. Disease. No one wants. Death. OMG. Nobody wants death. So all these things are agreeable. No, they are not agreeable. They are disagreeable. Yes, they are disagreeable, but they are agreeable in their absence. Correct? So certain things are agreeable by their presence, certain things are agreeable by absence. And this is very, very, this is very, very arbitrary. So everybody wants to be young, and until you reach an impossible age, like 80. And then after, I find this very funny. So till 80, everybody says, I'm 62, in the hope of conning all the people, permanently 62, 65. And then after 80, you cannot really stop the clock. Not that you could before, but that didn't stop you from trying. And the face is sagging to the floor, and everything is sagging. And so you cannot really, deny the ravages of time. And so then you have a new tactic. And so at this time, you ask a person, how old are you? And instead of saying 82, they'll say 92. I've seen this. No. Oh my God, you look so young for your age. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is to look young, for which extreme measures are adopted. So 3/4, 75 years of one's life, one goes about deducting the age by 10 years. A 75-year-old will say, I'm 66, and hope for the best, fingers crossed behind the back. And then once you hit 80 or 85, oh, I'm 98. No, but you look so young. That's the whole idea. So this whole thing about agreeable and disagreeable is very, very arbitrary. Young age is agreeable until it cannot be denied anymore that one is getting old. So then one adds 10 years so that by default one looks young. This is what the whole thing is. Crazy. And so we have learned to kind of, become experts in milking the Jagat for a little bit of happiness. Small happinesses. And we string along the small happinesses and then have this dried garland. In Sanskrit it's called nirmalya, which throw away after adorning the god the next day, after adorning Bhagavan next day. So like this, we have a dried up garland of memories of small happinesses strung together. And, one looks upon that with fondness, and one ends up settling for that primarily because one is not aware that there is such a thing called a happiness that is centered on nothing else but oneself. One is not aware. The famous example that you might have heard in other contexts that is given is the dog chewing on the bone. Dog finds a bone, chews on the bone, and then what happens? The sharp, it's a very dry bone it has found. The sharp edges of the bone causes the lips and the gums of the dog to bleed. And the dog slurps, thinking that it's a very juicy bone. Juice is coming from the dog or the bone? From the bone? No, from the dog. But the dog does a transference, a projection, thinking that Bhagavan has given it a very juicy bone today. Raso vaisaha rasagrihyevayam labdhva nandi bhavati kokhevanyat kaf pranyat Taittiriya Upanishad. Raso Vaisaha. This is the juiciest thing in the universe. It's filled with rasa. Rasa means here happiness. It is not filled with happiness. It is itself happiness. It's all happiness. It is all Ananda alone. And then, rasam hi eva ayam atmanam. We have to add atmanam labdva. Gaining this juicy atma. Meaning, cognitively, it's not that the Atma is away from you and you have to climb a mountain to gain it. It is somewhere buried somewhere in the ice. No, it is you. It is in cold storage because of ajnanam. That's all. It is you. And then gaining this Atma, then what? Atmanam labdhva, rasagga hevayam labdhva. Nandi bhavati becomes Nandi, not Nandi in front of Shiva. Anandi bhavati, short form. Nand, to rejoice. Nandi bhavati. Gaining this understanding that I am the source of all happiness that I wish to experience, the person rejoices. Ko anyat, without this Atma, no one can even breathe. Kaf pranyat, who can breathe, who can even, this Atma is the core of all functions in the world, in the body, in the mind, in the senses. And this Atma is classified as you, as the nature of you. And it is, as we saw yesterday, Ananta. Ananta means limitless. Yadeva anantaha, tadeva anandaha. That which is Ananta is translated as Ananda from the standpoint of the human pursuit. Because you don't understand Ananta. Who understands Ananta? Ananta means eternal. Eternal means what? You ask a teenager the meaning of eternal and they will say 15 minutes is eternity. They cannot wait. Yeah, they just say 15 minutes is as eternal as it gets. Are we there yet? This is what it is. So eternal, nobody understands. That's why we had to do that exercise of removing the time-bound and space-bound nature of the words themselves by using it in their abstract sense. Like Sat, existence without any time or space or object connected to it. Chit, Jnanam, Jnanam without being either Jnata, knower or known or means of knowledge. Yet sustaining all of them without being any one of them. Like the ocean sustains big wave, medium wave, small wave without being any of the waves. All waves arise from and are sustained by the ocean, go back to the ocean. But the ocean is free of waveness. Correct? Wave is not free of ocean. Ocean is free of wave. This is how the Atma is. And then finally Ananta. Ananta means it is free of time, free of space. It is that which is forever. And that forever is what is one wants when you say, I want to be happy. Nobody really wants to be happy, for 5 minutes. Because if you ask the next question, how long you want to be happy, nobody prays, oh Lord, just give me 2.5 minutes of happiness. How long you want to be happy? Forever. And that forever gets projected onto the things that are never forever. Like for example, marriage. So in America, in the 5th marriage, the person says in the marriage vow, this time it is forever. Arey aur 4 baar kya hua? What happened to the other 4 times? Don't ask. Shubh shubh bolo. Don't say inauspicious things right now. So somehow the forever, or they say this is the real thing. I finally got the real thing. Real thing means what? Even Coca-Cola has appropriated that. Coke, it's the real thing. This is the advertisement. So much we are hankering after the real thing without knowing that the one who is looking for the real thing is the real thing. This is what it is. You're looking for it everywhere except, where it really is. So the story is told of the 2 people, going on a train journey from, Kanyakumari, which is the southern tip of India, all the way up to Kashi, where Varanasi. The 2.5 day journey. So these two fellows are in the compartment, and it's off season, so not many other people are there. These two fellows are there, and one fellow seems to be very, very, very rich, and the other fellow is a wannabe rich. After relieving him of his money and giving him instant vairagya, sending him to Vedanta class. This is this fellow's plan. And every night, what does this fellow do? The first fellow, takes from somewhere. He finds a big bunch of money notes, thick bunch of money notes, and then keeps on counting. And the other fellow is having heartburn. This fellow is keeping on counting. And then, somehow the other fellow gets distracted after the counting, and then, this fellow goes to the bathroom, the other fellow also goes to the bathroom, and then, the first fellow goes to sleep, nischint, bilkul, without any worry, he goes to sleep. And then, the first fellow is not unable to sleep, the one who is looking for the money. And after he finds him sleeping, he says, okay, this fellow is snoring, let me get to work. And he takes the keys from his pocket, opens his suitcase, nothing, just some clothes and, some small things, nothing there. And then his carry-on bag, he zips and sees, unzips and sees nothing. And then his shirt is hanging there. Shirt pockets also, he looked nothing. Where is this money? Where did he just counted? I shouldn't have got distracted because I went to buy some samosas or I was buying something from the window and he has suddenly hidden. The next night, same thing in front of him. He's, licking the notes and just counting, big wad of notes. And the other fellow is just saying, today is the last night, tomorrow morning we reach Varanasi. And I'm going to Varanasi to wash off my papa, so at least may as well commit one papa to wash off. So I want to get this money. And this next afternoon they were going to reach Varanasi, next morning or something they were going to reach Varanasi. Again, no money. He looks everywhere. He even looks, without waking him, he looks under the pillow, thinking like that. So he cradles the fellow's head in one hand, and the fellow is drooling and sleeping. He has no idea what is going on. He is so unworried about he's carrying so much money. And he looks inside the pillowcase and under the pillow. Nothing. And next day morning, very hatash, very disappointed, he goes to the bathroom. The fellow, and he feels, okay, now we are just, 50 kilometers from Varanasi and next stop is Varanasi. So he comes back to find that other fellow enjoying nice breakfast which the train has served just before coming to the station. And then he says, okay. He says, I give up. Now there is no chance for me to steal your money. And you might have been seeing how I was looking at this money. And so now at least you can tell me where you hid it for last 3 days. And he says, under your pillowcase. Yeah, under your pillowcase. What? It was under my pillowcase every night, yes. Why? Because I knew you would not look there. It's almost like Bhagavan has hidden this Atma in the last place where you're going to look. Where? Right where it is. The looker is Atma, onlooker is Atma, the searcher is Atma, the seeker is the sought. This is what the whole thing is. And so therefore, we are drooling constantly over someone counting something in the Jagat and wanting this, wanting that, all. That's why this whole, section began with Acharya Sureshwara introducing Vairagya as the single most qualification for this knowledge. Especially as it's articulated here. So the whole time one is what? One is looking. And you want to sit at the table of Ananda But instead one becomes a puppy begging for some scraps of Ananda. Somebody should give, somebody should hand out. And the same Taittiriya Upanishad says in another section, in the Brahmananda Valli itself, it talks about what is called Ananda Mimamsa. Mimamsa is analysis. Yeah. And in Vedanta, Mimamsa is called as such because it's all about me, me, me. So, it's me, Mamsa. Let us just look at this thing called me. So, Ananda Mimamsa is an analysis of Ananda. Very interesting section. So, first, the Upanishad introduces an ideal type unit of human Ananda. So, to be happy in the world, what do you need? Come on, help me out here. Don't get all Vedantin on me, okay? Yeah. Just regular people, what do they need to be happy? What is, what are some things one wants? Quick. Huh? Food, clothing, shelter, okay? So, not just any kind of food. You have to be very specific. So, first, one has to be young to even enjoy the food, correct? Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be, drink is that dal water. Not even dal you can digest, only the water on top of the dal. So, you have to be young. Yuva Syat, And then, so here is a young fellow. This is one unit of human happiness. Sadhu Yuva. Sadhu Yuva means what? A good youth. Yeah, good, sadhu. Good youth. And sadhu Yuva, they don't go together. Youth means should be restless and rebellious. But here is a very good young fellow. Must be something wrong. Must be dull. Must be having some, developmental disability. No, adhyayakaha. Adhyayakaha means very well raised, very, brilliant. Yuva syat sadhu yuva adhyayakaha. Must be not well studied. Ashishtaha, very well educated. And then what? Must be wishy-washy. Dradhishtaha, no, very certain in what he wants. Must be a nerd, like you do foo and he falls down. He's only sitting in front of the computer programming something all day long. No, balishtaha. Now he's looking like good son-in-law material. Yes, for the daughter. So the mama, mommy are discussing, the mama, the father of the bride is convinced. Yeah, let us get this fellow for our daughter. Yuva syat, sadhu yuva, adhyayakaha, ashishtaha, dradishtaha, balishtaha. Oh my God. Mommy is little more careful, pragmatic. She says, find out what about the money, find out his bank balance. I'm not giving, I'm not giving to a poor person. My parents married me off to you. You didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, and I am not going to do that to my daughter. Find out the bank balance. And then the Upanishad says, Ashishto dradishto balishtaha yayam prithvi vittasya purna syat. So, not only is he all this, he's extollable virtues, but he is also rich. Let us imagine he is rich. And how rich? The whole universe's riches belong to him alone. Now mommy is convinced. Okay, let him have him over for coffee. Forget the horoscope. Just invite the fellow. This is what the whole thing is. And this is Sa Eko Manusha Ananda. This is one unit of human happiness. Why a man? Why not a woman? Because men are, because it's a patriarchal society. Men are seen as strong and doers and whatnot. They have more power. That's why. And then the Upanishad says, this is not the be all and end all of Ananda. This is one unit of human happiness. Please do a little bit of mathematics, Vedic mathematics, Vedantic mathematics. Multiply this by 100, folks. Te ye shatam manusha ananda. Multiply this by 100. And then what do you get? Sa eko karmanam devanam. Then you get, not karma devanam ananda, that comes later. Sa eko gandharvananda. Then you get one unit of happiness belonging to yakshas, gandharvas and kinnaras. Musically obsessed celestials. Okay? All the time singing and dancing. This is what they are. Yeah, that's what they are. You know? We're always finding out new ragas and then they are into music. These yakshas, kinnaras and gandharvas, they have one more unit. They have 100 units of human happiness is one unit of musical celestial happiness. And now what should we do? Bolo bolo. Huh? What should we do now? To that one unit of human Gandharva happiness? Multiply that by 100. Taye shatam gandharvanandah saeko karmanan devanamanandah. Then you get one unit of lower rung celestials happiness. Ye karmana devanapi yanti. Chaiwalas. Yeah. So, chaiwalas who go and then serve chai to the higher level devatas and celestials. So 100 units of Gandharva's happiness is one chaiwala happiness in heaven. Okay? Yeah. So on earth, if you are a chaiwala, you can become the prime minister. In heaven, if you are a chaiwala, you are very happy and you are serving tea to higher level devatas. Te ye shatam karma devanamanandah. Saya eka pitranam chiralokalokanamanandah. So then what do we do? Do the math. Multiply that by 100. Then you get one unit of what? Happiness of who? Pitranam chiralokalokanam means ancestral happiness. And we are not talking of bank robbers who were ancestors, okay? We are talking of dharmic ancestors who did right by their children and who were good, upholding citizens in the society, well adjusted. We are not talking of, bank robber parampara and then this, what is that, mafia parampara. We are not talking of those ancestors. Those are somewhere else in Patal Loka. We are talking of dharmic ancestors. We have to say all these things. सब बोलना पड़ता है. Then that is one unit of Pitraloka ancestral happiness, where they are sitting and blessing everyone, because every function we do, like if you want to do Upanayanam, you have to invoke these ancestors, Nandi it is called, and then if you want to do a marriage, you invoke the ancestors and take their permission. Any function, you invoke the ancestors. And so you invoke their blessings and they are very, very happy because you are giving them tarpanam every year, and then, there is a nice relationship, and then and they are very happy because they are enjoying, 10,000 times human happiness. Then it goes on and on and on, all the way ekas indrasyananda. And then te ye shatam indrasyananda sa eka prajapaterananda. Prajapati is teacher of Indra. And then teacher of Prajapati is Brihaspati. Then Brihaspati, and then it is, Brahmaji's Ananda. And so like this, it is an unending hierarchy of Ananda. You think that you can milk this universe to get the most possible Ananda, but even if you get the ideal, typical unit complete, nobody can get. Nobody is fully rich, fully young, fully, accomplished in everything. But even if you were to be, and you get everything that this world can offer, you will still be sad, because the Gandharvas will be going, na na na. We are happier than you. And then above the Gandharvas, the chaiwalas are saying na 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 to the Gandharvas and to the human beings. Correct? Where is the end? No end. No end to this hankering after happiness. And this is what is pointed out here. And so what? What is here is a secret, because in this nice sing-song with this chant of sing-song swaras, and the sing-song swaras are for Vyangyartha. Vyangya means what? Sarcasm. Yeah, to be a little sarcastic. Tege shatam manusha ananda. Very predictable it goes. All of it is the same way. Sing song, sing song. To show that this is all it is. It is finite, finite, finite. But there is one fellow, Pelli, doesn't matter, one person who is getting all the levels of Ananda without being the Pitra, without being the, Gandharva, without being the Indra, without being Prajapati. Who is that? Shrotriyasya cha kamahatasya tege shatam manusha anandah saya eko gandharvanamanandah Shrotriyasya cha kamahatasya tege shatam gandharvanandah saya eka karmana karmadevanamaanandah Shrotriyasya cha kamahatasya Shrotriyasya cha akamahatasya. So this person that is described as a Shrotriya. Shrotriya means what? The one who has done Shravanam. ये श्रवण क्या होता है? Listening to the teacher, the one who has listened and gained this knowledge completely by listening to the teacher. Shrotriya, who has received the from the teacher. And akamahataha, kamena nahataha, not hijacked, not killed by desires. Akamahatasya cha Shrotriyasya cha. So this is not two people, it's one person. It's not an option. You either be a Shrotriya or you be a Akamahataha. And you have to be careful how you dissolve the compound. You cannot say Akamena hataha, killed by non-desire. No. Kamena nahataha, akamahataha. This is not an option. Shall I be a Shrotriya or shall I be, free of, shall I have Vairagya? No. You have to be a Shrotriya and have to have Vairagya. Together abiding in one person, that person sitting under a tree. In another, in another refrain it says, Kaupinavantaha khalu bhagyavantaha yati panchakam. So the one who is having a loin cloth, one small chaddi, that's all. The one who is having a loin cloth is the most fortunate one. I was teaching this in America, in Sailorsburg once. And there were some young people, teenagers, youth, in their 20s. And one person had a question in the satsang. So if I go buy a loin cloth, I'll be like this? I said, no. You have to have only loin cloth. It's not that you have all your other big wardrobe and then you buy one, loin cloth and then say, Kaupinavantaha khalu bhagyavantaha. So we are talking of kevala kaupinavantaha. Yeah. They are not having all this wardrobe, matching shoes and hats and all these things, and then one loin cloth. No. All they possess is a loin cloth. That is the whole idea. So this is the Shrotriya and Akamahataha, like the Kaupinavantaha. So these people, what do? They're just sitting under a tree and then they are enjoying all these levels, not just of human Ananda, but Gandharva's Ananda. And Gandharva's Dada's Ananda. And then Gandharva's great-granddaddy's Ananda. Indra's Ananda. Indra, king of heaven. Think about how much happiness he enjoys. But then little less than Prajapati. Prajapati's Ananda. Brihaspati's Ananda. Brahmaji's Ananda. The one who created this whole universe. Like this unending amounts of Ananda. You know, this person, without being Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnara, Pitru, everything, just being herself, himself, just having this knowledge that the self alone is the source of all happiness, enjoys all these happinesses, all these levels of hierarchical happinesses without needing to be any one of those things, without needing to possess any one of those things that the Gandharvas and the Devas possess. This is a fantastic thing. So, which is easier? To become Gandharva and to become Indra, or to just sit under a tree, gain this knowledge, sit under a tree and be contented. That is the whole idea. So, this is what this, Shrotriya, and this is what where the Upanishad, the part that we are studying, is going to lead us. That this combination of Vairagya and Shravanam is going to rid us of what? Of this obsession with trying to milk the Jagat for happiness. So that milking, has to stop first. Because otherwise, how will you know? If one is keeping on relying on things other than oneself for one's happiness, how will you know that you alone are the source of happiness? That's where Vairagya comes in. And that is where the maxim Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavet has to be understood from that standpoint. Because if you don't give up Anatma as the source of happiness, at least in the beginning, then the Atma will not be understood as the source of happiness. So that's why first analytically we do Shravanam to analyze this, and then sadhana wise we do what is called, we have Vairagya. Some Vairagya comes naturally, as one ages. So many things you cannot digest, correct? Yeah. In the 20s, you can eat a stone, nothing happens. Yeah. You try it. No, nothing will happen. And then 10 years later, you say, oh, okay, I can eat everything, but only in some finite measure. Then 10 more years, 20 plus 10, 30, 30 plus 10, 40. Then suddenly gluten-free diet is advertised. And that starts to look very good. And then after that what? Add 10 more years. Then what? 50. Then the doctor says, take all these pills. One pill for hypertension, one pill to digest things, especially what life throws at us. And then one pill to, what is that? Bring something else down. And then something else is already down, one pill to bring it up. Yeah. So by 50, quarter of the food is pills, quarter of the plate is pills, 3/4 is food. 60, half the plate is pills, other half is food. 80, 3/4 of the plate is what? Pills, 1/4 is food. And then after that what? Feeding tube, finished, nothing else. It doesn't matter whether what you eat or what you don't eat. One is, kept going by pills and potions. This is what the whole thing is. And that is why we say that the first half of one's life, let us say one survives till, nobody survives till 100, very few, Although recently I read, 107-year-old woman celebrated her birthday, gave one party, and blew out the candles on her cake. And then the reporters came and said, please tell the secret of your longevity. And she said, I never got married. That is why I have lived so long. Stress-free life. That is what she said. Without studying Upanishad, she said that. I was very proud of her. So, And then what did the reporter say? Reporter said, that's fine, madam, and now it is too late for you to get married. So, like this, the whole idea of, this is what the Shastra says, that the first, nobody survives till 100. about 80 years, let's say. So the first 40 years, you eat the food, you know, and the next 40 years, the food starts eating into you. That's why you say, I can't have sugar, I can't have fat, and then I can't have grains. What can you eat? You know, you're a fresharian. Yeah. You're a breatharian. That's all it is. There are some plants, you know, they are called air plants. They don't need soil, they don't need water. Once a month you wet your nails a little bit and go like this. That's all they are. Somebody had given me one. It just lives in a little, not even a bottle, like a small glass, you know. So I was presented that once. And I said, I had never seen anything like this. I said, do I put it in soil? No, 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 no. Do I put it in water? Oh, please, it will die. Arey, then what should I do to it? Is it alive now? Yes, it's alive. And it will even give some kind of a small flower or something once in a while. I said, what do I do? Once in 3 weeks, you just wet your hands, not too much, very little. First in the air you go like that, and the remaining you go like that to the plant, and the plant goes, ha ha ha, thank you for feeding me. That's how one becomes, you know. Can't digest this, can't digest that, can't digest what not. And then why not take some Ayurveda? Oh, sensitive to Ayurveda, allergic to this, allergic to that. So the next 40 years, the food eats into you. Yeah. That's the whole thing. And you know, Sant Kabir also, in a different context, brings out the same thing. He says that the clay says to the potter, you know, the clay is made malleable to make pots and all after putting in some water in the clay in a pit. And then the potter jumps on it, steps on it. And the stepping action makes it soft and kind of clawing to make, so that it sticks together to make the pots, etc. And so the clay says to the potter, enjoy yourself. Step on me. Step on me all you want. At the end of your life, I will be stepping on you. You will be under me, I will be stepping on you. So to go ahead, have fun. So like this, you know, this is what it is. You know, it's like anything that you want, anything that's the object of desire is immediately what? Seen as finite. Same thing with people also. You know, people are not there forever. And even if they are there for as long as you are alive, still, you know, you don't want to be around them because they have changed. Why? You know? Because when you married them, they had different ragadveshas. You know, ragadveshas, one bunch of ragadveshas marries another bunch of ragadveshas. That's all it is. That is what marriage is, especially modern days. Modern day marriage is like that. And then the ragadveshas don't remain the same. They evolve, they change. And that's why first, I can't live without you. And then what? I think we need some space. That's the whole idea. Same thing with children. Same thing with any kind of object of love. And this has to be understood. And to understand that, there is a verse in the Vartika that we are going to look at, which won't seem so drastic after this discussion. जायादिरप्रियः सर्वः स्वत आद्यन्तदुःखकृत् तद्धेतोरात्मनः प्रीतेः जायादिः प्रिय उच्यते. So, he's commenting on that second line, you know, natu nava are Jaya yai kamaya, Jaya priya bhavati, Atmanastu kamaya, Jaya priya bhavati. He's commenting on that. So he says that Jayadihi means all objects such as wife, etc. Priyaha, you know, Jayadihi, etc. They are what? Apriyaha sarvaha. Every object in the world is naturally disagreeable if you are looking at it objectively. Ayyo, how? Because of two reasons. Adyantavantaha, one, they are all having a beginning and an end, and that is the cause for unhappiness. Anything that has a beginning, anything that has an end is the cause for sorrow. Why? Because I want the forever. Is Jaya forever? No. You know? And then what? First reason, Adyantavantaha, because they are endowed with beginning and endings. And then therefore, second reason, Dukkha Krit, Dukkha Karakaha. They cause unhappiness. All objects in the world are they cause unhappiness on account of them being endowed with beginnings and endings. So therefore, if you look at it objectively, every object in the universe has to be disagreeable, because the only thing agreeable and the only thing that one wants is what? The forever. But yet, we find in the world, same Sureshwara says, he softens up in the next line. He says, tad hetoho, because of this account, because of this reason, which reason? We'll see that later. Because of this reason, pritehe jayadi priya uchyate. So the wife, etc., are seen as priya, agreeable. Why? Only when they bring out the happiness which is already in me. So it's more like a contact high. So it is not that by themselves the wife, the husband, the children are objects of delight and happiness. Because if they were, then what would happen? You should be thrilled each time you see the spouse. Can you honestly say that each time you set eyes on the spouse, you find the person thrilling? Obviously not. Yeah. Sometimes they behave like a pig. Sometimes they don't pick up after themselves. Sometimes they are, boring. Sometimes you want them to listen to you, but they want to go to sleep. Sometimes you want them to be compassionate and they are saying, oh, come on, you're not really sick. Don't make a big deal. So in those conditions, you don't find the spouse endearing at all. In fact, you say, get away from me. I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to look at you. I need some space. Correct? So the Jaya is not inherently agreeable and delightful. Neither is the Pati inherently agreeable and delightful. Correct? Or even any object in the universe, even something that you really love. Chocolate cake, everybody loves. It's not inherently delightful. No, you don't know me. I like chocolate cake even in the middle of the night. You wake me up and give, I'm happy. That may be so. But let's say, the chocolate cake is competing with some amoeba in the abdomen. And that amoeba is ruling your life by sending you to the bathroom and making you stay there for 3 days. No appetite, stomach pain, churning. And then somebody offers you this wonderful, delightful, fantastic chocolate cake. Ooey, gooey, wonderful. What are you going to say? Get that thing away from me. Have you no heart that you're bringing it to me at a time like this? Correct? So the mind is there, but the body is not able to, enjoy the medium to enjoy the chocolate cake. Something is wrong with the medium to enjoy the chocolate cake. Correct? Because you're sick. You have flu, you have fever, or you have some amoeba, and then, the amoeba want the chocolate cake, but you cannot give it to them. Yeah. So that is one way. So the instrument will not allow, even though you may like it. Or imagine another scenario. You've had a full meal. You've eaten everything on the menu. And then you come home and somebody offers you a big piece of chocolate cake. You say, please take it away. The sight of it is making me feel a little ill. Correct? Same thing. Or let's say you're hungry and you like the chocolate cake. Then you've had a fight with your dear friend. And then the chocolate cake is presented. Or you got some bad news. You were expecting a promotion, but the other person who was under you has been promoted. You were the boss of this person. Now that person is going to boss over you. And then the chocolate cake is given. What do you feel like? Smearing it on the face of the person who brought it. You're so angry. Correct? So the mind has to cooperate. There has to be a Shanta vritti to be able to enjoy the chocolate cake. Not a Ghora vritti or a Raudra vritti. The mind has to be calm. The body has to cooperate. So therefore, inherently speaking, the happiness does not reside in chocolate cake. Or you imagine a person who is allergic to chocolate. There are some people. They cannot be around peanuts, chocolate, so many things. And you give the person the chocolate cake, not possible. So therefore, that same chocolate cake, what is that? Evokes different responses at different times, even in the person for whom it's an object of love. What to talk? I mean, if an inanimate thing as chocolate cake is giving out all these various responses, what to talk of an animate person with their own ragadveshas? How they will affect your body, how they will affect your mind, So therefore, all objects, if we are looking at them with vairagya, have to be classified as what? Disagreeable. Why? Because they are incapable of bringing you the joy that you are hankering after. But yet, those objects sometimes are agreeable because they bring out somehow that happiness that is intrinsic to you. Very, very interesting, They are capable of bringing out that happiness once in a while, And that's why the person becomes an object of joy, because you think that they are capable of bringing out some joy. And then let us go to little further. So therefore he says, Nirhaituki swataf pritihi Atman yeva yatastatah bhaktam priyam parityajya mukhyam priyamupashrayet. So what should I do? The advice is very, very nice. The advice that is given is that which is priya now has two components, so to speak. Correct? One is the intrinsic priya, meaning that which is centered on me, that delight, that ananda which is centered on me. And the other aspect or component of this priya is what? That object centered priya, or that object priya that brings out this inner priya. And therefore, Sureshwaracharya cautions and tells us, go for the real priya. Go for you as the truth of yourself, as the source of ananda, and parityajet, give up that connection of that priya to any object in the universe. Is that clear? So, to clarify it further, we can, take a verse from some other Prakarana Grantha, a text, in this case, Drishya Viveka, another wonderful text. And there is a verse that says that everything in this universe has 5 components. Asti bhati priyam nama rupa etat panchakam. 5 components. And what are they? Asti, it exists. Bhati, it shines as an object of knowledge. It shines as knowledge. And then priyam, it is agreeable to me. 3. And then 5 means other 2 are there. What are they? Nama, 4. Rupa, 5. Asti bhati priya, nama and rupa. Etat panchakam. So this is common to all things in the universe. All things in the universe enjoy the 5 components called, and we'll see what they are. Asti bhati priya, nama and rupa. And then the writer of the Drigdrishya Viveka concludes, Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam. The first 3 belong to Brahman.